Thank you, Ms. Saito, for your testimony. Now I recognize Mr. Ian Somerhalder, originally from Covington, as I said, and you now have, sir, 5 minutes.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Chairman Fleming, Ranking Member Sablon, and members of the subcommittee. My name is Ian Somerhalder. I am an actor and founder of the Ian Somerhalder Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering, educating, and collaborating with people to help them positively impact the planet and its creatures. I am also a global ambassador for the Alliance for Global Conservation. I appreciate this opportunity to testify before you today on the legislation before us, the Multinational Species Conservation Funds Reauthorization Act. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the subcommittee, especially Chairman Fleming, who represents my home state of Louisiana, for the invitation to join you today. Environmental conservation has not just been a passion of mine, but a priority, and when I began to find through my work as an actor that I was gaining an increasingly prominent platform in front of the American public, I knew immediately what I needed to do. And the IS Foundation is my attempt to use this opportunity to share of the public's attention for the greater good. The IS Foundation, which has dozens of affiliate groups around the world, as far off as India and Algeria, focuses on 3 themes: conservation, habitat conservation, species protection, and green energy initiatives. Our goal is to support a range of projects from more established, mature initiatives like the Alliance for Global Conservation to smaller grassroots efforts initiated by individuals on the Gulf Coast and many other local communities. So the hope is that we can demonstrate ways for everyone to contribute on any scale. And we want to start conversations on these issues and allow them to grow and evolve naturally. So when a particular issue gathers enough momentum, we will lend the resources needed to transform it from a conversation into a project, and from a project into real progress. But in talking to people, especially young people around the country, I've found time and time again that the issue of species conservation is a particularly resonant one, and people are very passionate, they're passionately attached to the creatures that have captured their attention and their imagination since childhood, and they're invested in doing whatever is necessary to protect them. Species conservation is beyond a doubt an issue that truly matters to the American public, and we're lucky in this case because most of our beloved species are clinging to survival by a thread. The legislation initially enacted in 1990 is viewed as globally as a success story. With the U.S. leading the effort, governments around the world are able to begin investing in their ecosystems. From the Congo to southern Sudan, we're finding that species conservation is paying off in terms of both the environment and local government action. So Congress considers H.R. 50. I thought it would be useful quickly to discuss the species that benefit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service leadership on conservation. Asian and African elephants, apes, the plight of tigers and rhinos. But in the consideration of time, let me address the marine turtles as an example of the desperate plight and the important opportunity we have to take action and continue to strengthen our collective efforts. I addressed the full impact of the other species I mentioned in my written testimony submitted for the record. 6 of the 7 marine turtle species are listed as threatened or endangered by the World Conservation Union and under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. Because marine turtles take 10 to 40 years to reach sexual maturity, they're vulnerable to predators, oil spills, and bycatch, so restoring their numbers is a lengthy and very delicate task. They are truly the ancient mariners of our oceans, with ancestors dating back over 100 million years. So while all species require tropical, subtropical, or temperate oceanic beaches for nesting, each has a specific marine habitat and feeding requirements, and I was very fortunate to go down to Trinidad and Tobago and watch these leatherbacks come out of the ocean under the cover of darkness and lay their eggs very artfully into the sand. And it was even more gratifying that I actually got to see these hatchlings coming up out of the sand. It was amazing. They instinctually find their way back to the ocean, obviously still, unfortunately, facing an uncertain future. But there is a specific chain of events that occur when these turtle populations drop. The loss of these turtle populations leads to an explosion of jellyfish populations, which kill lower-level food chain fish, which in turn have an impact on tuna and swordfish, which are big contributors to the human population. So we've already seen this increase in our beaches, and as you know, Chairman Fleming, it could have drastic, fisheries implications in our home state. My foundation is in 190 countries at this point, with a lot of global outreach, and I just want you to know that the ideology is backed by passion and commitment. So I just want to ask that the subcommittee move quickly to mark up H.R. 50 and reauthorize this very important piece of legislation. Thank you.